As of the time of production, it is May, meaning we have a couple months till we get more on the actual show in fall. Hey there, Crystal here. This video is here to focus on my thoughts about the new Winx Club reboot. So let's get started. So Winx Club has gone viral because Winx Club is officially coming back for a 9th season. And I have some thoughts, both good and bad. I'm going to start with the bad and not so good because that's what we all love. The music. As I write and edit this video, I must admit that the song has grown on me, but nonetheless, my point of contention with it still stands. Is how generic it sounds. Unlike the first seasons where they didn't try to apply and follow the trends of the time, and instead created their own, easily identifiable rhythm. You can't tell me if you heard this. And you were told it was actually for something not related to Winx. You wouldn't believe it because it sounds like it could genuinely belong in any pop-related thing. If you hadn't figured it by now, this is a problem, especially with new reboots such as Totally Spies. They are often watered down and lack something that makes it special and recognizable. Like an art style, outfits, and more. I hate the fact that the Winx reboot transformations are not leaning into qualities that made them special, like the outfits. Flora. I like the movement, but there's a bit too much gymnastics. It seems more fitting for Aisha. It would look better on Aisha because anything athletics is more fitting on her and Techna. However, I must admit, I enjoy how they made Flora emerge from a flower to show her branding, because it relates to her powers, which is definitely something they have done that we can appreciate. Techna. What she's wearing, in my humble opinion, resembles that of sportswear like maybe Lululemon. Very athleisure inspired. And her facial expressions rub me the wrong way. It looks simple, not thought out, and once again, generic. But to make this a fair review, I'm going to fairly comment on what I enjoyed about the transformation, and that is the way she interacted with the camera. It seems very experimental, but it worked. Musa. This is good. The dance is upbeat and is still reflective of her personality. The environment is still reminiscent of the original, where they had her dancing in some sort of disco world to show her connection with music and her fairy powers. Stella. This outfit is not much to comment on, but I love how they cleverly incorporated her moon powers in the transformation, because it isn't utilized more often and is often scrapped in most plots. Despite the fact that the sequence where she transforms from moon to sun could have been better executed. But her having her moon powers cleverly displayed in the transformation sequence is perfection or close to it. Aisha. She is not the fairy of water, but her power is Morphix, which is not water. So they should lean more into green like her original, especially to visually set her apart from Bloom, and perhaps show more of her Morphix in the transformation, rather than simply letting water visually dominate. But her outfit looks incredibly cute. The first sequence of her animation looked a bit reminiscent of the live-action Ariel, but it looks cute. What do you think? I'm also going to avoid talking about the hair because it could have been better. It doesn't even look like any real hairstyle. I would prefer waves to whatever this is, but on to the next. Bloom. As the most important fairy and arguably the most important character, her transformation was lacking. It seems as though they put in more effort for the lesser pushed characters, and then lost all motivation for the more frequently pushed characters like Bloom. Point blank. Everything is lacking. Her hair is not good, and they should get rid of the ponytail immediately. Individuality. One of the biggest strengths of the older seasons was how unique each character was. You could close your eyes and tell who was talking just by their personality or vibe. Now, It's like they all went to the same influencer academy and came back with the same poses, same aesthetic, and slightly tweaked versions of the same outfit. Where's the variety? Animation. Admittedly, this links to the same topic of variety. I feel like we see a lot of shows these days, having the same 3D, boring, lifeless art style. It feels very safe. Too safe. I personally love 3D animation, but in the case of Winx, it should be more stylistic, instead of this all too familiar Pixar clone of a style. Final thoughts. You know that feeling you get when something is missing? Whether it be in when you're getting ready for something like a trip or when you're cooking. That's what I feel, and it is the lack of suspense. That lack of suspense you get when you know an amazing transformation sequence is about to happen is missing. The girls need their own iconic poses, something that screams, them, not something generic. It needs more detail. This is extremely obvious with Techna's lack of detail. It was very shiny and that was all, which was an immediate deal breaker for me. And that's it for today. What were your thoughts on them? Have you seen it? Tell me in the comments below. See you soon. Crystal out.